Alright, I do believe. Let me go make sure before I go say anything about it. Yes, we are live. So, for those of you who are wondering, yes, today is my special day. Well, what people call the special day. But, let's be honest, nobody's really going to remember, so. But, as a lot of you may remember, I am currently grinding out the British tech tree to get the first battleship. Everybody here should know by now that what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to grind out every nation that has battleships to get their first battleships. So once I get done with Britain, I believe I move on to France, which would mean, for those of you who are crazy, I have to grind out to get this. Now, a lot of you may not know this. I have this in War Thunder. I've played it. It's really decent on AA guns. We've done AA versus planes with, or we've done ships versus planes with it. It's actually a very decent cruiser. I do like it. But we have to grind out that, and I've played it before in World of Warships Blitz too. So I'm actually thinking about getting that again on my other account. And then we move on to this. Now, obviously, it's not exactly a interesting vessel. For me, I think the Normandy for the French is the vessel that I'm really looking forward to getting. Simply because I love the secondary battery and how it's placed on the ship. Just looks really funny and really cool. But we also have to grind out Italy, which if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3 vessels to get before I can even get to the warships on the battleships. And if I'm being honest, the battleship that I get firsthand, I've already messed with. It's really brawly, but the guns take forever to reload and it kills you instantly. And then I believe that that is the only nation after that that has battleships. Everybody else has cruisers and destroyers. Excuse me, I am incorrect. The Pan-American line, which is actually a line that I do want to get to, by the way, has a battleship all the way down here that I have to grind to. And it's actually one of the cooler looking ones and that I actually want to own, so probably the Pan, whatever the flip they call themselves. And then, of course, we all know Spain only has cruisers because cruisers ban. If I'm being honest, I know a lot of people probably disagree with me on this. I think cruisers are probably a better way to play this game. Especially when you have battleships like this. This is just sad. I'm not even joking. If you guys would like to see me do some World of Warships splits, let me know so that I can get it going, and I will gladly do some World of Warships splits if you guys want to see it. Renegate. The Amagi. Now, a lot of these are actual vessels. I know the Amagi is actually known in history. Now, some of these also I'm curious about. That was a severely unbalanced rudder. Oh, here we go. Here's the experimental Yamato. This is actually what they called it. It was going to be the Yamato design, but after some figures were done up, the Yamato ended up looking like it did. So the IX, or the Izumo, was the prototype version that somebody else came up with for the Yamato. And this ended up being the Yamato design that was chosen overall. As you can see, it's the same hull. They gave them the same hull to use. It's just that, for me, I believe that the Yamato looks good. But the issue is, it couldn't really take on a lot of bombs and stuff. And of course, you have this prototype looking thing, which to me looks like they were just desperately trying to come up with something to put in here. It's fictitious, of course, we all know that. And now that I can actually believe is something that they would have produced. Actually, like, really, really cool looking. I like that. And then the bungo. Oh, Lord, that funnel, though. And of course, we all know America pride. My pride and joy. And the reason I say this is because this is actually named after my state. Yes, I just said it. It's named after my state. Thank God. I'm not paying that. But yeah, here she is in all of her glory. Unfortunately, we've never really had another battleship named after us. You can see that, like, we have the North Carolina and stuff like that. I would honestly love to have had America name another ship after South Carolina, but it's not. That's a World War I vessel, by the way, so that's actually the interesting part. So, alright, boys. Mm. This plane's or this plane, yes. Plane. This is a plane. This ain't no ship. What am I talking about?
Good luck, everyone. Battle starts.
Alright, let's head into battle. Let's hit the A. I like the fact this thing has torpedoes. This is a very nice little detail. Very helpful, too.
All stations, proceed to capture that area. Good luck, everyone. Enemy force detected. Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship detected. Torpedoes, direct front. Torpedoes, dead ahead. Enemy cruiser detected. Torpedoes, direct front. Our team has taken the lead. quickly. Problem solved, sir. Our team has taken the lead. We've destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Congratulations, boys.
Our team has taken the lead.
Sometimes a few well-placed shots are better than none. I'm quite curious as to why Japan has yet to get some some submarines. I hope that they do add Japan some submarines. It would be nice because Japan does have submarines. They do have a few that they did use. It's just not very well known that they used many of them. It was a submarine that sunk the USS Indianapolis that was transporting parts for the nuke. And little did the captain know that that was what he was carrying. I don't believe, if I'm being honest with you guys, I think after the captain of the USS Indianapolis found out what he was carrying, and they did the court case and everything, charging him with not doing what he was supposed to and all. I think when he found out that that was what they had done, I think it very much upset him. And if you've ever watched the movie USS Indianapolis with Nicolas Cage in it, um, if you've ever done that. I don't know if anyone has. I have. I've watched it several times. Very good movie, by the way. If you've ever watched it, then you will know that in the movie, you notice that at the end, when Nicolas Cage played as the captain, by the way. Oh, wow. Looks like they've added more. I'll have to look at some of those because they're a little interesting. But if you pay attention, he mentions the fact that he didn't see any honor in them. How do I put this? The captain of the USS Indianapolis did not find any honor in them nuking Japan twice. And I honestly believe, had he known what he was carrying, he would have never made it to Japan. Or wherever it was he took those parts. I don't believe he would have done it. He would have felt a sense of duty to say, no, this is not right, this is not fair, I can't do this. But they kept it top secret from even him, and all he was told is, these parts need to go to this place, or this stuff needs to go to this place. Nobody knew what was in there, even the crew didn't know. Everyone knows how crew talks. So, like, even the crew didn't even know what was in that crate. A lot of them actually tried to find out what was in there. They were trying to figure it out, and nobody would tell them. The guards that were guarding the parts wouldn't tell them. But they knew what was in there. Like, it was on a need-to-know basis, and as we all know what the government says, it's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Or they'd say, I'm sorry, I'm not at liberty to say. It was always some kind of stupid excuse like that as to why they wouldn't tell somebody what was in the freaking crate. And come to find out, it ended up being what it was. Now, since I am looking at the USS Yorktown, I have stepped foot on this particular vessel. Now, I will tell you guys this. The USS Yorktown looks basically just like this. The only difference is there is an angled flight deck right here. That is the only difference. It's not a very big angle. It's just a small angle, but there is an angled flight deck. But everything else on the USS Yorktown that is in Charleston, which is where I'm hoping to be able to go, not today, obviously, but sometime, that is exactly where, anyway, it is there. The angled flight deck goes off very slightly. Let me see if I can find a really good example to explain it better. We all know that the S6 and all of them, they don't have an angled flight deck. I think the USS United States does. Kind of, yes. Okay, so I know you guys. No, I don't care. Go away. Go away. There we go. So a lot of you see how the USS United States is kind of set up. Kind of envision it kind of like that, only the angled flight deck is further up, probably around here. And the flight deck, of course, isn't as big, and there's actually like a World War II era bridge on it. It's actually a really cool look. I do love the modern USS Yorktown. When I say modern, the one that we have, I do like it. I think the older one looked cool, but I do like the old one. I can say that with all honesty. I do really like the old one. Also, I am almost positive, I'm not like 100% sure, but I am almost positive that this is the class of submarine that was at the USS Yorktown. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on, let me pull that back up. Alright, so let me go and pull up this and we will find the USS Clamagore. I will find some pictures of it right quick. Now, keep in mind, this is right before they scrapped the ship. I want you guys to know this. This is what it looked like when they were, well, actually, this is way before it got scrapped, actually. But this is what it looked like. Definitely got that World War One look to, or World War Two look to it. Let me see if I can get a rear shot of it. Here's one. It was a more modernized version of it, as you can see, but it is no longer in Charleston. It is now gone. They decided it was best instead to scrap it. Also, here is a shot with the USS Yorktown in it and the Laffey over there. Guys, when I went in it, the right before they closed it down. Also, this is what the Laffey looks like now. I don't know why it's painted orange. That's weird. But I'm assuming that's how it used to look way back when. But this is actually how the USS Laffey looks now. It's actually really cool. I think it looks really nice too. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, the USS Clamagore was no longer, in their opinion, was no longer a viable, there was no longer a reason to really keep it around. So, what they decided was, let's just get rid of it. And they took out everything they could sell and they scrapped it. It's probably now washing machines and car parts. There were plans to scuttle it and make it an artificial reef, but for some reason they decided against that and they scrapped it instead. If I'm being honest, guys, I would have paid to go scuba diving. I don't know how to swim. For those of you who don't know, I have no idea how to swim. But if I'm being honest to God, I would have learned how to swim and everything just so that I could have dove to see the USS Clemson. Now, a lot of you I know are probably like, well, what kind of ship is the USS Laffey? It's kind of like the gearing here. Of course, a lot of you know it's a Sumner class, not a gearing class. So the funnels are different, obviously. Everything on the ship is from like the Cold War, I believe, if I remember what the guys told me. But I find it interesting that they kept most of it around. I want to look at Louisiana. And it's crazy to believe that we were thinking about making something so hideous. An Iowa class battle carrier. That's what I want to call it. The battle carriers. Think about it like this, guys, alright? A small flight deck, which would probably mean one of two things. One, they could take off, but they would not be able to land again. Or two, they could take off and land, but it would be very dangerous. And as you can see, it looks like a normal battleship. Like, it's got the battleship cannons, the bridge is off center to account for everything else because of the bridge or the flight deck being there. But the thing that really aggravates me, they put a quadruple gun setup on this one. Now, for some reason, they didn't think it was feasible to keep the 3 guns on it. Because here we have the Delaware, which is basically the same thing. I mean, it's got the carrier look. It's got the one thing I do say that I like about it. It looks like it has what I like to call what I would want to call an actual Iowa class bridge on it. But then they put a dual barrel gun on it. And it's like, why? Why bother? And then, of course, the Nebraska over here. All of these, keep in mind, all of these are like experimental things that were never created. I honestly like the Nebraska setup better. Out of all 3 of them, I like the Nebraska setup because think of it like this, all right? An aircraft carrier that can defend itself. Now, everyone knows aircraft carriers are probably the best for being able to defend themselves with all the planes they can launch. But think of it like this, all right? Everyone knows that the Iowa-class battleships, like, I know how praised they are for being such great battleships and everything. But in reality, Iowa-class battleships didn't really do anything other than provide artillery support. So think of it like this. You've got this ship sitting off the coast somewhere. Artillery is called in. You can rotate the guns. You can fire the 2 guns that they have, right? The 6 guns. And you can call in air support all at the same time with no issue. This is a feasible option. It was a feasible design, and why they never built it, I don't know. It would honestly have been really useful, in my opinion. If we built something like this nowadays, guys, I'm telling you, I'd love it. I'm not even joking. I would love it. But apparently they're adding Russian submarines now as well. Now, Russian submarines remind me a lot of like German submarines, but they also remind me a lot of other submarines as well. Like, they're their own design, I'll give them that. Like, they do have their own design. Like, look at that stern. Now, I can't tell if that stern fires the torpedoes there or there. It doesn't give you X-ray ability. I'm willing to bet it's probably both based upon that design. But it's a good look, honestly, for submarines. I think submarines look really good for Russia. And then, of course, Russia going with that. What looks like it's not, I'm not going to say like a cruiser design, but it's definitely like that open sea, like send it out very far type of design. Now, I was unaware, and I will say this, I was unaware, and I really honestly hope that they do add more submarines into the game. Alright, so everybody knows that this class of submarine right here is probably one of the more well-known classes of submarine for the Germans. A single torpedo tube in the rear that fires, funny enough, fires out between the 2 rudders, right? And then you have in the bow 4 torpedo tubes, 2, 4, something around there, that fire. You have a single deck gun, and you have an AA gun. And of course, you got your radar and stuff like that, of course. But a lot of people think this external tank over here is for, like ballast. I found out that it's actually not for ballast. It's actually to store extra fuel so that they could go farther. I just got done watching the movie U-571 yesterday. Now, a lot of people know that it's supposed to be British, not American, but it's Hollywood. Nothing's ever freaking accurate on Hollywood movies unless the actual people that care about history is actually making them. But what people did not realize is Germany actually made what I like to call a ocean-going submarine. And what I mean by that is this submarine right here has more fuel. It has the ability to go wherever it's needed to go. It's basically like, I know a lot of y'all have seen me play Battle of the Atlantic before, or I think that's actually the one the game I've been playing. A lot of y'all have seen me play that. I don't know if you've ever actually seen me use the submarine. I can probably go and look at it. But it's basically this, but they were like, hey, just chop off that area. And I don't really know why they did that. I don't know. It looks like it possibly lays mines, because it has a mine layer track right here. So I'm willing to bet, and I'm almost willing to assume as well, that this thing is not only a submarine, which can fire torpedoes, but based upon the crane that's sitting here, I'm willing to bet this thing is also a mine layer. So that's why it's set up like that. They push the mines off, it'll bounce off the hull, hopefully, and it'll fall into the water, making it a mine layer sub. Now, there are different designs for mine layers. Some German submarines had it to where the mines were just stored, and it was basically at a click of a button, and it would shoot out the back of the submarine, and the submarine still had the capability of being that, how do we put it? It still had that capability of being a submarine, but it also had that capability of also being a mine layer. And I love that. I love the fact that that's actually something that we can look at in the game. Seeing a mine layer in the game is honestly really cool for me. But anyway, I know you guys don't really care about watching me do this, so I'm going to give you guys a favor, or do you guys a favor, and we're going to play Atlantic Fleet. That was the game I was talking about. So, a lot of y'all know... Alright, hold on. What the... Huh. Alright, we'll turn that off. There we go. So, I'm doing Battle of the Atlantic. But I will do a single battle so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Well, okay, so this is the German side. Now, the submarine that I'm talking about is this one here. The, type, I'm guessing that's 9 class submarine. It looks like that, but what they did to it was, they chopped it off the front. So, there we go on that. So that's that for you guys. Now I'm going to go continue my Battle of the Atlantic. As you can see, I lost the pigeon. A very sad state. Honestly, it upset me a lot. Alright, here we go. Alright, so we got the Ajax. Not a very big vessel, by the way. Oh, is he going to land some hits? He landed a hit. Look at that. Oh, there's a destroyer. That's an issue. And then a freighter. Alright, so 2 enemy vessels. One that actually looks like it might cause a problem. The other one, not too worried about. So we're going to turn the ship. We're going to aim the guns at the Ajax. Elevate to 13 point whatever the flip they say. Say guessing rangefinder, so you basically guess for it. But here we go. Open fire. Okay, those are high, as you see. Oh, they knocked out my rudder. Okay, great. So I'm stuck here. They took out the one thing that makes this thing powerful. Great. Alright, well, they're gonna die for that anyways. It doesn't matter. Alright, so luckily we have two of these, so we'll just keep these moving. I could move the destroyer in, but until I get the, Alright, we're gonna move the cruiser in. How about that? It's more armored, I think. I hope. And you see little derpy guns, nothing really too powerful. And of course, like I said, I'm going to move the destroyer, but I'm not really going to try and do anything with it because the 5-inchers are great, but it's a pain to try and use it. Why is he shooting directly at me? Like, why am I a threat to you? I know what the destroyer's trying to do. The destroyer's screening so that, the freighters can get away. But the issue that they're going to have with that is I'm not going to let them get away. They're going to get their engines and stuff took from them. I'm trying to get them to shoot this because, if I'm being honest, I really don't care if I lose this vessel. The destroyer I do care about because this is going to be my only submarine protection, and the British, even though they only have one submarine class, it's still a pain trying to fight against them. Dude, he is fixated on this vessel right here. I'm telling you. Probably smoking again. Yep. Yeah, the freighters are just going to keep moving, trying to get away. Finally, some hits. There we go. We're starting to get somewhere. Now we're going to have to probably guess with this, the destroyer, because the destroyer isn't really making any headway trying to keep himself out of the line of fire. So I'm going to turn this thing to the side like so. The reason I'm doing that... Alright, we'll fire right there. Yeah, there we go. Here, have some shells. There you go. So basically, the light cruiser is screening for the destroyer so that the destroyer can wrap around. Uh-oh, he's turning. That's never good. Alright, I got one hit. I don't know what it did, but it did something, I guess. I don't know. Oh, yep, the destroyer's firing. What's he firing at? I don't even think he knows. What in the world was that range, dude? Dude is way too far away to be trying to hit anything, and he's trying so hard. Alright, well, we gotta take out the Ajax right quick, and then we'll take care of the other issue. We were doing so good, and now we're losing again. They knocked out the steering again, I do believe. Let's try this. There we go. That's some damage. We got her. She'll probably sink. I don't know if she'll do it now, but she'll definitely sink. You know what? I hate changing targets, but we need to take care of that destroyer before it destroys our destroyer. Well, that was pretty easy. One of the main guns has gone on him. Alright, he just exploded again, so he's probably not going to last much longer. I'll give the Ajax some credit. It's a fighting vessel. Yeah, so the destroyer's actually aiming for my cruiser. That's what it was. So the screening actually did help. They're not focusing on my destroyer. I hate when the shells disperse so bad that they don't actually hit the target. Alright, there goes the Ajax. So we're going to watch that sink. We're going to hold off on anything else. Go to the ship. No! Friggin'! Ah! How do I go to the ship? I've clicked it. Like, how do I go? No. 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 I know there was like a button that you could use. No, I don't want to scuttle all ships. What do I look like, an idiot? Okay, whatever. Well, the Ajax sunk quick. Must have had flooding everywhere. What ended up being the issue? Port, starboard torpedo, AA gun, propulsion, A and X turret. Dear Lord, poor Ajax. I think we murdered a child. Just slightly, though. In my defense, he was shooting at me. I'm tempted to send the destroyer in, but I think I'm going to send the destroyer in with the cruiser and let them do the run on the freighters. Oh, they got a hit on me. I don't think it really did anything. It didn't look like it, but we got to start chasing down those freighters. That's all I know. I think the destroyer gave up on screening for the, they're trying to protect the... Ooh. That hurt. Oh! I might have just killed it! It's actually sinking. I'm not even joking. I sunk it with one shot. I'm not even joking. That is hilarious. Okay. HE rounds do better with these, so we're going to go over here. Go back to my ship, and then we're going to aim. We're going to load HE. Just cripple these vessels completely. Alright, we're going to hold off on everything for now. We're going to let the cruiser go in. Let's take out that far one first on this one. Fire. That's crazy. I can't believe I sunk that thing so fast. Alright, well, turn and go. Okay, that was too far of a turn, but we get what we were trying to do. Because they are now trying to run away. I kind of don't blame them. I'd probably run too. Because now the entire German Navy is on their 6. Well, an entire German naval convoy thingy is on their 6. We'll put it that way. They don't want to taste my wrath. That's what it is. They just don't like me. Alright, we got one of them with HE. You actually need to go up. Yeah, right there is perfect. We'll just chase them down. Yeah, they lost a freighter real fast. It only took one shot, too. That's the bad thing. Like, well, actually 2 shots, but... Ouch. Wow. Actually, funny fact, this is actually what this thing was designed to do. This is actually the job that it was supposed to do. And it was doing it quite well. That's why the British sent out a lot of ships to go and try and track it down. Because it was doing its job. These vessels here were doing their job so well that the British began to worry that if they continued, it would be like another submarine incident where things wouldn't go as well as they'd hoped. We got them on fire. More or less, the destroyer's a fear tactic. We're sending in a destroyer to go and try and do a man's job, I guess. Oh! What did I hit? Dear Lord. Something wasn't supposed to be there that exploded, I think. Yep, there they go again. They're just packing the explosives on the front deck, or the rear deck, and it's just killing them. Oh, that's hilarious. I love watching a ship go boom. Oh, that's an American vessel, too. The Americans are going to kill me. Yep, I overshot that by a lot. I'm more or less trying to keep them from, like, running away, but they seem to really want to run away for some reason. I don't know why. Can't figure out why. I mean, you know, I'm so hospitable right now. Mildly hospitable. Well, there he goes. Next! Alright, well, that poor ship is trying so hard to get away from us. He's like, oh god, not this again. I want my submarines to see some action. But I don't know if they will. I'll give that freighter some credit. That thing is sturdy. This thing is like refusing to die over here. Rah! Fear me, says the little destroyer. Dude, if I swear if the destroyer's shells are what sinks that thing, it's gonna be hilarious. They've lost every piece of convoy that they could have possibly hoped that they had. And now it's just a single ship. Very badly damaged, running away. Have y'all ever watched that John Wayne movie? I don't know if anyone knows the one I'm talking about. But basically it is a German freighter that the British have sitting in their harbor. And John Wayne's the captain of this vessel. And the British keep on and on and on. He keeps asking, you know, when can I go home? When can I go home? And the British, they're not letting him leave. So one night, he grabs enough coal and stuff that he can make it to an island to chop down wood and stuff to put in the boiler. And because they don't really, you know, he stole the coal and everything. And he takes off. And the British quite literally send cruisers, or I think it was like destroyers or something like that, and everything after this man trying to sink him. For some unknown reason. I could never figure out what the reason was that they wanted him to be sunk so bad. He wasn't carrying anything. He just wanted to get back to Germany. But he was apparently an old Navy captain. He had served in the Kriegsmarine, or in the German Navy in World War I, and he still had an old German World War I flag for the Navy. Well, They end up finding him, and to make a long story short, he takes down the German flag and he puts up the old Navy flag, and they end up killing him and his ship. But it's a really good story. I'd honestly suggest for you guys to go and look at it. All right. I'm not leaving damaged vessels out here alone. Nice. Well, we all know where that's gonna go, so we're just gonna close that out. Yeah, I honestly wish that people would make some more stuff for Stoneworks. If there's anybody that does Stoneworks, and if you can build really good, and you watch my streams, I would honestly love try, and this is actually something that I might actually try and do myself. For those of you who have Stoneworks, I want to do a challenge, and the challenge is going to be really interesting. Okay, hold on. Sometimes Stormworks acts stupid, so I have to reopen it. But the challenge is going to be build a paddle steamer. I don't care if it's a freighter or if it's a passenger steamer, right? That'll be the goal is it has to have paddles, and you can add a propeller if you want. Or you can add a dual propeller if you want, whatever. But it has to be a paddle steamer, and it has to have at least 2 boilers to make it realistic. It has to have captain's quarters and crew quarters. And it has to be really easy to crank up, really easy to get started in the engine room. And another thing I would say, it has to be multiplayer friendly. And it has to fit inside the workbench. That would be another thing that I would say is, it has to fit inside the workbench. And if people decided that they wanted to do this, I think honestly a challenge that I would do is and this is one that I actually really enjoy. Also, forget about the fact that I have German weapons. We don't have German weapons here. Cough, cough. Anyway, you know that you're bored when you go into Stormworks and you look at all the ships that you have and you're like, ugh, what do I do? I have this thing that I downloaded off the workshop. Very weird looking. As you can see, not very well designed either, in my opinion. A single lifeboat. It's definitely like somebody's starter lifeboat or starter vessel for sure. But I like the fact it has a helipad. That's the one thing I can say I like about it. The Royal Navy. Yeah, of course, yes. Uh-huh. That totally makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to figure out why. Oh, it's a container ship. Oh, that's cool. That actually looks really good. I like that. I might actually end up using that. L3 class light freighter for America. If I would have seen that thing chugging along in the Atlantic, I would have died laughing, if I'm being honest. Okay, so who decided to give the AI the ability to build something in Stormworks? I want to know right now because this is exactly what this thing looks like, something that AI built. I mean, why do you have your boiler behind your bridge? That's like a really, really weird design. But hey, it looks cool, so I'm okay with it. But the one question I have to ask is who the flip gave the freaking AI the freaking controls on building a ship in Stormworks? That's what that looks like, is something that the AI got a hold of. Also, can we talk about the fact that these things here look more like something that you would see for sure um at like a how do I put it? This thing looks like something that you would see in Japan, to be honest. Like Japan makes some really weird designs. Like I'm not like hating on Japan or anything. Like Japan just makes some really weird designs with ships and stuff sometimes. So like it just looks like something that you would see in Japan. Like we all know that this guy, and I actually really love this guy. This guy makes some really good stuff, really quality stuff too. He's a big fairy fan. I don't know why he loves fairies so much, but he really does. This is either Chinese or Japanese, but as you can see, it's a car fairy or it's a fairy. Like this guy has more fairies than I know what to do with, and I've downloaded every single one of them that he's released. Here's another one that he's made. But as you can tell, they're all around the same design. So it's like, why? Why do you download them? And then it's like, because it looks cool. I don't even want to know. You know what? I'm gonna go try to build a or not build, but I'm gonna go try and fly a helicopter. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so those of you who've been watching, ignore the dead body. I don't know where that came from. City, why'd you leave your trash on the floor? Alright, so we're gonna try this one first. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have no idea what I'm doing, so yeah, this ought to be interesting. What is this? Compact pilot seat. Okay. How do I reclose this? There we go. Alright, so what is this? Oh, hello. That's cool. I think I'm in the wrong seat. I think I'm actually supposed to be in this one. Here we go. Yeah, this one I think is the one. Rotor brake. Yeah, that's the one thing I've never been able to understand for wait, hold on. Is the rotor brake on maybe? Oh, here we go. Gonna let her start up. How do we actually start this thing up? Let's see. Y'all, collective. Alright, so I'm willing to bet it's collective. Alright. We're gonna put the collective all the way down so that we don't freaking die from that. Alright. Well, we're out. I crunk it up, guys. Look at me. I am fancy. And I got rockets. Look at that. Rocket! Dude, this would be great for attacking, this would honestly be great for, like, attacking, there's a lot of modded parts on this thing, though. But it looks good, too. I like that. That actually looks really nice. That is actually a very nice helicopter. I will save that because I can use that, so I'm gonna just put usable. There we go. I'll know what it means, so that's all that matters to me. Because for those of you who don't know, I'm not very good at using helicopters at all, so. Oh, here we go. The military pod. I want to know what this looks like. Hold on. I gotta look at what this looks like. So what? It's just like a actual military pod. That's actually really cool, actually. I want to use this. Like, really bad, but I don't know how to get it out of here. Does it, like, roll? Is it rolling? Hold on. Where's the parking brake? It doesn't look like it rolls. I don't know how you're supposed to get it out of here. There's a fuel truck. Oh, it's got fuel canisters right there. Alright, hold on. Because here's the fuel canisters, which I don't really need. I can't even tell how you're supposed to attach it, to be honest. Alright, let's get in the pilot seat. Here we go. Oh, no. Buttons! I don't know what half this stuff does. Let's just click a button of buttons and see what they do. I'll have to get somebody that knows what they're doing to help me with this. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just clicking buttons, basically. But here's another one that actually comes with, what is it, a water thing, it looks like? But this is the, I'd say, the demilitarized version of it. It looks exactly the same, that's why I say it's the demilitarized version. I love helicopters in this game. I cannot stand cranking up airplanes because it's just a pain. But I will tell you guys now, my all-time favorite helicopter in this game right now, this one right here. Don't ask me why, it's just too cute of a helicopter not to love. Here's the pilot. Watch this battery, engine. That's basically all you gotta do. I've always loved these helicopters. I think that they're really cool. Of course, they always fly better when I actually know what I'm doing. But yeah, as you can see, really simple and easy to crank up. Alright, let's see. Altitude hold. There is an autopilot on this thing, so that's really cool. So if I wanted to, I don't know, go over to this airfield here, set waypoint, right? All I'd have to do is go here, click that, and then click the autopilot, and it's going to take me right where I want to go. It has flares, it has a collective, it has yaw, pitch, roll, PTT, I don't know what that stands for. Post-traumatic trauma? I don't know. I'm gonna have to get off here in a second, guys, because one, nobody's really watching, and two, well, my mom needs me to go to town with her, so I gotta get my brother up, get him fed, because I'm sure he's probably hungry by now, and all that good stuff, so we'll do all that, and Aw. That was all the flares this thing had, was a few. I see where they were mounted too. That's actually really cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to turn off the autopilot. Dear God help me. And we are going to land this sucker to the best of our ability. Alright, turn off altitude hold. We're going to start losing altitude. We don't want to slam into it. We don't want to slam into it. No, 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 no. It's fine. We can fix that. We're just gonna let that thing kind of sit there for a minute. I need to get a repair torch right quick. I think that thing actually did pretty good, though. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff. Because, being honest, I'm running out of ideas and stuff to do. Ow. Ow. Well, darn it. I'm making it worse. Is there like a rotor brake in here? Maybe. No, of course not. I have to make it difficult on me. I'll have you know, I don't appreciate being slung around. Can the propeller stop spinning now so I can fix it? There we go, we fixed it. We're good. Alright, so we'll just save here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stream here because nobody showed up anyway. So I'm going to go get my brother fed and everything and do my own thing. So I hope everybody has a lovely day. Remember, you mess with the